Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make a necklace and a pair of earrings today, and I'm going to use some of the beads that came in the most recent Potomac Beads Treasure Edition subscription box, the one for March 2024. It's called Earthen Serenity. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the unboxing video I did for this subscription in case you want to watch it, where I go over everything that came in the box. I'll also put a link in the description box below to the page on the Potomac Beads website that will tell you about both of the subscription boxes that they have, and that's where you would go to subscribe if it's something that you're interested in doing. It is an affiliate link, so it does help my channel if you use it. And here I have the check glass faceted faceted rondelle beads, brown AB, and they're 9mm. And I've got the tile beads that came in the box. This is just half of what I need. I've already got half of my necklace made. And here I've got one of the 14mm check glass faceted beads in Sunset AB is the color. And this is going to be for my focal. And I've got a couple of large bronze bead caps from my stash. I'm going to be using bronze findings. I've got a couple of these little beads that came in my check glass mix. I can get one up here on this pen so you can see it better, because I don't know if everybody got, I imagine everybody's mixes were different. I guess this is called a cathedral cut. I'm not sure, but it's bronze on the tip there, and then it's kind of transparent in the middle. So I've got two of those. I'm going to use this at my focal. I've got some 6mm jump rings. I've got some 22 gauge German style wire in bronze. I've got a bronze link from my stash. I've got a lobster clasp, some 4mm jump rings, one 8mm jump ring. I'm going to use some of this chain from my stash, but I don't know how much I'm going to need yet. I've got a little piece of extender chain that I'm going to use. And I've got one of the, what I'm going to call cathedral cut beads that I'm going to hang off the extender chain, and a head pin to do that with. And this is what I'm using for my earrings. I've got two of the cathedral cut beads, two of the tile beads. I've got a head pin in there. I've already put one of the tile beads on a head pin, a couple of 4mm jump rings, and two of the lever back ear wires that came in the box. I've got I'll be using my chain nose pliers, my tweezer pliers, my round nose pliers, both pairs of my bent chain nose pliers, the crimping pliers I use to tuck in burrs when I cut off wire, the cutters that I use to cut head pins and eye pins and craft wire, and my flat nose pliers. And I have my little New Orleans shot glass to put my wires in when I cut them off. So I think that's everything. I'll put links to everything I can find links for in the description box below, everything that didn't come in the box. So hold on, I'll get some of this out of the way and I'll be back. Okay, first thing I'm going to do here is build my focal. So I'm going to take my head pin and one of what I'm going to call cathedral cut beads and put it on my head pin. I'm going to take my pliers. I'm going to go to the very tip of the pliers, bend the pin over at a 90-degree angle, take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me, bend the wire back until it hits the bead, rotate the pliers till they're facing the table, take this part under until it hits the bottom of the tool, kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead, like that, and that usually stands this little piece of wire here almost straight up. Now I'm going to hold on to my loop, bring this wire down, take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. I want to make sure to get that first loop in under the first wrap and under the bottom of the loop, and not over the top of the bottom of the loop. And these head pins are pretty thick, so it's a little bit hard to do. Right now. Okay. I think I need to move myself over a little. I'm not in frame too very well. Now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. Now I use these crimping pliers to tuck in my burrs with when I cut off wire. That the little half circles at each end is what I use. Of course, you can use regular pliers. I just find these work well for me. Okay, so now I'm going to take a piece of my German style wire. And these are about 3.5 inch pieces, I think, is where I cut them. I'll go down about 1.5 inches, bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle, take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend, round nose pliers facing me. And if you want to make sure that your loops are all the same size, you can put a little mark on your round nose pliers so you know where to put it every time. I've done this so much. I used to do that, but I've done this so much now that I can usually just tell by looking where to put them. But I used to do that, and it's helpful to do that. So I'm going to bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take the short piece of wire under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Now I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to open this loop. And I'll put my little dangle on here that I made. I'm going to close my loop back. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. Wrap the short piece of wire around the long piece of wire about 3 times. Take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Now I'm going to take my bead cap, my 14mm bead, and my bead cap. Take my pliers, okay, those bead caps are swallowing up my loops. I think I'm gonna have to get some different bead caps because the hole in the bead cap is swallowing up my wraps down there. Hold on, let me get some different bead caps. Okay, I've got some different bead caps here now that won't swallow up my wraps down there when I put it on. So I'm gonna put this bead cap on here. See, my wraps are staying there. They're not getting swallowed up. I'm going to put my big bead on and my other bead cap. And these are kind of sitting on top of the bead instead of hugging it. So I'm going to just take them and kind of squish them. They're very thin, so they'll squish. I'm going to squish them so they'll be better against the bead there. Now I'm going to take my pliers and go to the very tip of the pliers. Bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Take around those pliers and put them on the crook of the bend. Around those pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the beads. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring the wire down. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Wrap till there's no more room to wrap. Now I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire, take my crimping pliers, and tuck in the little burrs that are left. And I wait until I get both sides made before I do this because it's helpful to me to have that bead to brace against. If I don't have that bead to brace against, I usually end up mangling the loop or the wire or both. Now I'm going to take another piece of my German style wire, go down about 1.5 inches, bend over at a 90-degree angle, around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. This part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Open my loop. Thread on this part of my focal I've already got made. Close my loop back. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down. Wrap it around the long piece of wire about 3 times. My cutters, cut off my extra wire. Put my other cathedral cut bead on here. Take my pliers, go to the tip of the pliers, bend over at a 90-degree angle, come around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the beads. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the beads. I bent chain those pliers and hold on to my loop. Take this wire down. My other pair of bent chain those pliers and start to wrap. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire, take my crimping pliers and tuck in my little burrs. That's going to be my focal for my necklace. Now I've got half of my necklace almost all made. I'm going to wrap one more of these rondelle beads and put it at this end. And I'm just wrapping these just like I wrapped these. And I've got them connected together with jump rings. I don't always do that. Most of the time I connect them directly to each other like I did these. But I didn't know how I wanted to lay these out. So I just made a bunch of links and then decided how I wanted to, what order I wanted to put them in. And it also helps when you have a flat bead like these tile beads. If you use jump rings between the links, it helps them to stay flat when it helps them lay flat. So I'm going to wrap this last one and connect it to this end, and then I'm going to make another strip just like this. And when I get back, we'll put it all together. So I'll be back. Okay, I've got both sides of my necklace made here now. I just need to connect this last rondelle to the end here. And this is just how I've connected all these links. I've got 4mm jump rings between all the links. Okay, so that's both sides of my necklace, and now I'm going to connect it to my focal I've made here with my link. Now I've got a 6mm jump ring because this link is kind of thick. I'm going to open it up, put it on one side of my necklace. My link, close my jump ring back really well. Just going to do that same thing on this side. Now I'm going to connect my focal with another 6mm jump ring. So that's what I've got now. So now I'm going to go, and I measured these. Both of the sides plus this part came to, I think it was, well, I'm going to measure it again, I can't remember. Okay, each of my sides are 5.5 inches, so that's 11. And then this part is a little over 2.5, so that's 13.5. And I think I made these pieces of chain here about 3 inches each. Yeah, these pieces of chain are 3 inches each that I'm going to put on either side here. So I'm going to take a 4mm jump ring, and open it, put my chain on here, and one side of my necklace. I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring, put my chain on my other side, everything's wanting to be magnetized and stick to everything instead of going through there. There we go. Put it on this side. Now I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring, put my other end of my chain on here, and my lobster clasp. And then I'm going to take, on this side I've got a 8mm jump ring for my lobster to clasp onto. I'm going to put that on here. And my extender chain. That's about a 2-inch piece of extender chain. Close my jump ring back really well. Now I'm just going to make a little dangle to go on my extender chain. So I've got a head pin. I'm going to go to the very tip of the pliers, bend over at a 90-degree angle, around those pliers in the crook of the bend, pin the wire back until it hits the bead, rotate the pliers so they're facing the table, this part under until it hits the bottom of the tool, kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead, take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop, bring my wire down a little bit, take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Making sure to get that first wrap under the bottom of the loop. Wrap till there's no more room to wrap. Take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. Take my crimping pliers and tuck in my burr. And now I'm going to take my flat nose pliers and I'm going to take the end of my extender chain and open it. And thread my little dangle on there. Close it back up again. Just make sure to get it closed really well. There's my little dangle. Put this together. There's my necklace. So hold on, I'll get my stuff together and I'm going to make a little pair of earrings. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm going to make a real easy little earring here now. I've got a head pin and I'm going to put on my tile bead. And I'm going to go to the very tip of the pliers. Bend over at a 90-degree angle. Around those pliers and put them in the crook of the pin. Around those pliers facing me. Pin the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. This part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this part down. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers. Start to wrap. Make sure to get that first wrapping under the bottom of the loop, and it's like I said before, these head pins are thick, so it's kind of hard. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Oop, that one went flying. That's not good. Don't do that. You need to always hold on to your wire. And I did not do that time, and that's not good. That can really be a problem. Hit somebody in the eye or something. I'm not real thrilled with how close those wraps are. I'm going to see if I can squish them together a little bit with my tweezer pliers. I think I'm going to have to live with it. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get it to do. So, now I'm going to take another piece of German style wire, go down about 1.5 inches, bend over at a 90-degree angle, around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers so they're facing the table. This part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. I bent chain those pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this part down. Wrap this part around the long part about 3 times. Take my cutters. Cut off my extra wire and hold my finger over it. So it doesn't go flying like that one did. Now I'm going to take my cathedral cut bead and put it on here. Take my pliers, go to the tip of the pliers. Bend over to 90-degree angle. Around those pliers in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits a bead. Rotate the pliers so they're facing the table. this part under until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. Bent chain those pliers and hold onto my loop. Bring this part down. Other pair of bent chain those pliers and start to wrap. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. That's not the best loop I've ever made either. It's not very round. I'm going to see if I can round it out a little bit there. Now I'm going to cut off my extra wire. Making sure to hold on to the wire so it doesn't go flying. Now I'm going to take my crimping pliers and tuck in my burrs. Now I've got a 4mm jump ring here, and I'm going to connect these together with it, because just like with the necklace, if I connect them together with a jump ring, my tile bead will hang the way I want it to on my earring. I connect these together. Close my jump ring back really well. And now I'm just going to take my ear wire and open the loop here and thread on my earring. Close the loop back. So there's my little earring. So hold on and I'll make the other one, and then I'll try to get everything laid out here and I'll be back. Okay, there's my necklace and pair of earrings made with some of the beads that came in the most recent Potomac Beads Treasure Edition subscription box. And I still have a ton of beads left. There's always a lot of beads in these boxes, and they're always really beautiful and really high quality beads. Like I said, I'll put a link in the description box below that will take you to the page on the Potomac Beads website where you can read about both subscriptions and subscribe if it's something that you're interested in. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. I also sell gift cards and some extra beads and findings that I have. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.